facility that Ocean Hospital needs there. So keep that in mind. Needs to
70s. They're chasing it back to the 1870s and has a connection to Rutherford B. Hayes and the Hendersons. And we say that that house should remain. It can be made a welcome center. It can be made a history, a museum that has a lot of history in the neighborhood, with the Henderson being an affluent attorney and an entrepreneur. His family had that. And also the history of the Rutherford B. Hayes family. And so forth. So they're looking into that. We have the city's former historic preservationist, Randy Black, been contracted to do an assessment. I think in another week he will have an assessment as to the ability or the options of the building. From our eyes, the building looks very sound. I went in it once a couple of years ago, and it was very sound. They took off the addition, the wooden addition. They took those off. But the building seems from the outside to be very sound. He's going to go in there this week and give an assessment. We'll know what will happen with that. They were talking about a way we can take it and move it somewhere. And when you do that, the house loses its historic value. So we say no, that it needs to stay in place and be repurposed some kind of way. The hospital can move around to the other side. So then people was talking about, well, maybe OSU, if we make this so difficult, then OSU will go somewhere else. Well, let me tell you, they're not going anywhere else. You can't find a place that has access to an interstate like we have at Taylor and that hospital location. You know how much money Children's Hospital spent working with ODOT to have access to their hospital? So we have a gem spot there. We know we want them to come, but what we want them to do is due diligence to make a win-win with us, community, and the hospital's objectives. Other thing that we have been pushing for, I know it sounds like a broken record from the Bronzeville Neighborhood Association, is that of lighting. And I said for them to get full support from the community, before they dig a hole, we need to get pedestrian lighting in our neighborhood. But that building is going to take at least 2 years to build. Why should we remain in the dark? And I said that the pedestrian lighting, also police safety. I speak to a lot of the police officers when they're coming on runs. They don't go in some of the alleys because they can't see. Helicopters can't see through the brush during the summer. So we need to trim and put extra lighting. Safety, resident safety. And when you have more pedestrian lighting, then we will be out on the court, people walking. They become your security, your neighbors that will be out there because you have lighting and sidewalks that don't break, you won't fall and hurt yourself. So they're considering that. And we took a lot of flack. People said, oh, well, you need the hospital in there. I said, well, that's fine. We do. We know they're coming. We know our value. But the issue is, why do we have to remain in the dark? I said, if the lighting is important, then let us turn off all the pedestrian lights downtown until we get ours. So we as council, I went to council twice on this, they said, we can't do that. Now, isn't that interesting?
Well, he said he went to council twice. That's just twice in the last few weeks.
Last few weeks.
He's gone for years, many times,
Right.
talking about lighting.
That's right.
And they have made some kind of promises that
And I say that because with any kind of development, if you want to change the human behavior, you can talk and preach all kinds of things, theory and intellectualize it. But the one thing that changes a human, first thing is change that environment. That you're going to get a response from that human. Whether that's how we operate. So by lighting the place, we're going to change the behavior ahead of time. I was on off of Rome Hilliard Road. They're doing a new development. There's nothing but grading the land, and they already put pedestrian lighting on the cement walkways. They haven't built one house yet. There's no one even there yet. So why do we have to keep waiting in the dark? I said, that's over with. I want lighting. I preached that, and I'm going to continue. I told them that I will be against them coming in here if we don't get lighting before they dig their foundation. Because we shouldn't do that. Because their monies come from the state. most of their monies. The same State Department, why the citizens can't get lighting before they put their foundations in. And we've been duped too many times. But, oh, you wait till I get finished. Wait till I do this. You will get this. But that never happened. You're also asking for not only money for lighting, but sidewalks, and also to get a pool of money. We can help residents, seniors that need their house painted or some repairs. And they can say, oh, we that's someone else's job. It's always someone else's job to do that, but they never give us anything. And say, we can go as a civic association, say, we're going to fix this house for that person, that house, that one, or let them know. We can refer them. I said, these developers that are coming here, they have to put something out on the front end. My attitude is, if they cannot do that, they need to go somewhere else. Because we know we have the values, like if they don't do it, someone else will. We have the Adelphi. We had a developer that came in there with he did the bait and switch on us. We got together and we said no. We got a better project because we knew the value of that spot where Adelphi is at Long and Monroe and right here at the top of Garfield. So you have to stick your feet in the ground and say, no, we're no longer accepting you coming here and not putting anything. You leverage your position with the come and work with the civic to say, how can we put something on the front end? And my attitude, we know we have spots, and our spots are becoming more and more valuable every day because we have everything. You don't have this kind of layout everywhere. We want you here. There is something that you have to put out. And we can work with the city. That's that. And then as we go down into some old business, we're going to get to our chair report and our minutes here. We just flip the agenda here. We're going to come back to that. Our old building with the Sawyer Towers. That's where we're at now with the old business. Sawyer Towers. I've been spoken to a representative of the receivership. What the city has done with that, the courts, they took them to court, and the court decided that the owners can't own the towers anymore. They have to be sold. But in order for them to be sold, they have to be assessed. So then the responsibility goes to a company, which is a receivership. They have to do an assessment of the towers. And then at that point, they can get RFPs, requests for proposals, from local and or non-local developers to develop it. But here's Plan A and Plan B that's being looked at now. And I'm going to be meeting with them on Monday again via Zoom. Again, we said from the beginning when this happened that no developer come into this neighborhood and develop that without us being front end. But they did that to us, have people from other cities managing that, and look what happened to our residents being put out on Christmas Day. That will never happen again as long as we're engaged. We don't care who it is, we're going to be engaged in that development of that. So the option is to look at it, and they have to do an assessment whether it's going to be affordable to repurpose, redevelop, or is it possible that the cost of redeveloping too much, they have to be torn down, done something else with that land? We don't know that yet, but what we're looking at is for the receivership to go in and do a thorough investigation. They will give us a report, and then we will be able to report back. And then we're also going to be at the table, Bronzeville Neighborhood Association, as those options and development come along with the receivership. And so that's a good position for us to be in. And that's talking with the Chief Prosecutor, Steve Dunbar, and Michael Stevens, Department Director of Development at the city. And they both assured us that we'll be in the mix, and they have honored their word because they have reached out to us, and we're having discussion about the tower. So we are very happy to be in that position. We've laid out, we went to council on that again, and no developer will come here do that without our involvement. we would do, how we would put out, and that's awful. Now, the city has to deal with all of that stuff as they find housing. That's beyond us. At this organization. Yes.
Well, what is the stability of the tower? Is it not habitable, or is it what conditions in there?
What happened, it was built in 1964, and when they were in there doing something, they released a lot of the asbestos. So whether they rehab it, it has to be cleaned of asbestos, which is not a cheap job. Second, the elevators, 4 elevators, 2 on each side, they already figured that will cost about $2 to $3 million. Then you talk about the plumbing, the electrical, all is from